Fauster. Wow. 12,889 on the karma thing. Fauster is a regular Pollyanna. Have you considered doing a season of Dirty Jobs in the Third World? It would be interesting to see a week devoted to shipbreaking in Bangladesh or low-caste trash mining in India. Or will the show stay focused on dirty jobs in our own culture? Excellent question, Fauster. I do want to go to Bangladesh. I know the story you're talking about. There's an operation in the Bay of Bengal, I believe. They break these ships up. It's so dangerous and so amazing. The problem is, and we talk about this every year, Dirty Jobs International is a slam dunk in terms of the spectacle of it all, in terms of finding real dirt and great sets. And I'm not opposed to it. But I've stayed in this country for 5 years because a big part of the show is your connection and understanding that the people we're profiling could in some way be benefiting your life, right? So when you meet a sewage worker here in New York and you live in the vicinity, you can watch the show, and when you turn it off and have a beer with your pals, you could reasonably posit that the crap you saw on that sewage worker's shoulder as he labored through the crucible of his day came from your ass, right? You can actually have a connection. It could be your poo on that guy, right? And therefore, we magnify the contribution and intensify the celebration, right? The sewers in Paris, for instance, 900 years old, stunning. But there's no way your poo got on Pierre, right? So we're going to remain focused here. Maybe some specials coming up, but right now we're going to keep it on America, Americans. All right. And finally, are you ready? Oh, that's you guys. Is that you guys? Are you ready? No, that's Reddit. Interesting. This is a long question. Is it appropriate to read the entire question?
It was the top one, so.
This is the top question?
This is the top question.
Oh, so I've been working backwards?
Yes.
I apologize. Had I known that we were working our way up to the coup de grace, the piece de la résistance, I would have built an appropriate level of teasing tension. It's a little late for that now. But nevertheless, this is a big, fat question. I'm going to read it to you right now as I see it. In your TED Talk, you talked about how wrong you were about many of your assumptions about work, hard work, and the people who do it, and apparently about the rest of your life as well. You spoke a lot about the moments of enlightenment you've had that have changed your perception and point of view. That's true. TED Talk is, you guys know what that is, right? It's people go and they tell you a story about that in a second. The Reddit community, your audience in this instance, is one that is disproportionately representative of students in colleges and universities and information technology professionals. It's good to know. That isn't to say that everyone here is like that, but this website is frequented by many white-collar workers and people who are training to be white-collar workers who spend huge amounts of work and leisure time on computers. This is great information. You guys could have told me this before I started talking. This is great. You sure you guys didn't write this? Have you ever seen the guy? You know what? Have you been on camera before? We're going to turn the tables in a moment. Stay tuned on it. Go ahead, do it now. Show them. That's what I'm dealing with right here. Okay, Eric, I've learned more from this question so far than I have from you, my friend.
Good.
What moment of epiphany that you've encountered in your work on Dirty Jobs would you most like to communicate to this group of people, maybe to any group of people? What are we getting wrong that needs to be reevaluated the most? Okay, thank you for that question. It's a good one. It's a serious one, so I'm going to drop the pretense of all my smart alecky-ness for a moment and try and answer you. Ted, first of all, do you remember what it stands for? Technology?
Entertainment and design.
Entertainment and design. Okay. I didn't know about TED at all. The EG conference was this thing that spun off of TED and happened in Monterey a year ago. I'd never heard of EG either. I got an invitation in the mail that had EG basically embossed on the ivory vellum, you know. And I was like, what the heck is this? E.g., as I'm sure you know, is Latin for exempli gratis, and it means for example. Years ago when I was in school, I used E.g. in a sentence, and my professor penalized me because I should have used I.e., which is very similar but translates into something different. So when I got the invitation, I was immediately pissed off, you know, because it reminded me of this professor. Never stray outside your mother tongue, right, if you're not equipped to do it. Anyhow, I read all about E.g., I get this information, and look, the entertainment gathering. I don't go to gatherings, you know. Sounds to me like the province of hippies and Wiccans, right? You know, a gathering, you know, and I didn't really get it, you know. So I didn't know what to do. It was an opportunity to speak, and I avail myself of those opportunities because I have a website called MicroWorks that I'll talk about in a second, and I thought maybe I'll go talk about that. I just launched it, you know. But frankly, in my life, there's a missionary and a mercenary posture. I'm a big fan of the missionary position, but as a mercenary, I wanted to know if I was going to get paid. So I called the E.g. people, it's a true story, and I said, you know, I'm flattered and all, and I just had a few questions, you know, about the cost, and they said, oh no, there's no charge for presenters. I said, well, that's great, but my question was, the travel's all taken care of. I said, oh no, I understand, but the thing is, meals are paid for as well, and you can bring a guest. Doesn't that sound great? I'm like, no, it all sounds great. I'm just wondering, you know, I don't have an agent or anything, and I'm wondering about the fee. And they said, oh, no one's paid. Like, what? Like, no one's paid. This is the audience of a lifetime. You'll have a chance to speak to some amazing people who are going to come to this event to listen to the greatest thinkers, inventors, and facile minds of our generation. This is an opportunity for you. So, here's my opportunity. This is getting better by the second. You know, go speak for free at a gathering. Right? People who go to the gathering, they pay. So immediately, look, I'm a bit suspicious, but whatever. It's something I want to do. So I go, and I'm glad I did. But I was freaked out a lot because when I arrived, everything in your question is exactly right. This was a room full of people who were tweeting. You know, I didn't know what that meant at the time. Tweeting. Everybody had a device. This was a tech room. And my message on Dirty Jobs is not a technical message. You know, the world is in love with the microchip, and I'm basically out there saying we've forgotten about the shovel. And, you know, that message to that crowd, I figure is going to go over like a fart in church, you know, and I'm going to get stoned down here. I don't mean the fun way. I mean, I'm going to have rocks thrown at me, you know. I had no idea what to talk about. And as I sat there trying to figure it out, I had no success whatsoever. Nothing came to me.